Today we are looking at Tomáš King of Rejection, a Kickstarter campaign for a retro point-and-click adventure game inspired by classic LucasArts and Sierra adventure games. But instead of doing a normal campaign analysis, I want to use this one as a very practical example of how to fail your Kickstarter. Not because the creator has no talent, not because the idea is impossible, but because almost every major Kickstarter mistake is here in one campaign. So welcome to Kickstarter Failure 101. I'm Gary, the creator of Crowdfunding.ninja, and I analyze Kickstarter campaign using my experience working professionally in retro game publishing and crowdfunding as Chief Marketing Officer at Incubate Games. And today, we are going to look at what happens when a campaign launches too early, with too much complexity, not enough visual, not enough clarity, and probably not enough pre-launch marketing. At the time I'm recording this, the campaign has raised about 3,000 euros, and for a goal of 20,000 euros. It has 28 backers and 22 days left. So the campaign is around 15-ish% funded. And honestly, unless something major changes, I do not see this campaign reaching its goal. Maybe it can reach 6,000 euros, 7 or 8, but 20,000 seems very unlikely with the page in its current state. So let's go through the lessons. Lesson number 1, start with a confusing title. The full campaign title is very long, there. It lists several platforms in, parentheses, but it looked like the title get cut before the closing parenthesis, right here. This is a small detail, but small details matter. When a backer arrives on your campaign, the first thing they need to feel is confidence. If the title already looks unfinished and badly formatted, it creates doubt immediately. And Kickstarter is all about trust. Lesson number 2, make your trailer not a trailer. The video here is around 10 minutes and with mostly like static background and voiceover from the creator and people involved in the project. All along. This is not a good Kickstarter trailer. For a game campaign, especially a retro game campaign, the video needs to show the game quickly. Show gameplay, show the world, show the humor, show the promise. Explain why people should care. Most backers are not going to watch a 10-minute presentation with a static image. They will watch 1 minute, maybe 2, and then leave. And if people leave at the video stage, they never reach the rest of your page. So, the rule number 1, do not make your Kickstarter trailer boring. I know this sounds harsh, but it is true. Your trailer is not the place to test people's patience. Lesson number 3, write a wall of text instead of showing the game. When you scroll down the campaign page, the biggest issue is obvious. Get this. There is a lot of text. A lot. And there are not enough visuals. For video game campaign, this is a problem. Backer wants to see the game. They want screenshot, GIFs, gameplay characters, environment, UI, physical edition, reward mockup. Here, we mostly get explanations. The beginning is actually not bad. Let's have a look here. The campaign explains like that the game is a love letter to a classic adventure game from the 90s, inspired by LucasArts and Sierra Online. This is clear enough. The story is also understandable. Here. The main character has like a wild night and ends up in the time of Jesus Christ and somehow replaces him. It is unusual, but at least it has like a clear personality. So the problem is not the concept. The problem is the presentation. The page spent too much time explaining the vision and not enough time showing proof. On Kickstarter, do not just tell me your game exists. Show me the game. Okay? Lesson number 4. Assume everyone understands your technical references. This campaign talks a lot about Scum-style adventure game. There. Scum VM and engine, tool, port, and technical system. For some retro fans and developers, this may be clear. But for most backers, it is not. And this is a very common mistake. Creators often write their campaign from their own point of view. They forget that normal backers do not have the same technical knowledge. If Scum VM is the reason why your game can run on many platforms, you need to explain that clearly. Not deep in the FAQ. Not in a paragraph that only developer will understand. Just here. At the very bottom of the page. Very high on the page in simple words. Something like, we are using a Scum style structure and Scum VM compatibility to make the game easier to port across many systems. Something like that. Then explain what that means in plain English. Because right now, when a backer sees the huge platform list, they probably do not think, whoa, this is smart. They probably think there is no way this is realistic. Lesson number 5, promise way too many platforms. This campaign promises a massive number of platforms. MS-DOS, Windows, Mac, Linux, Amiga ST, Dreamcast, Nintendo 64, Android, and many more. Just here, look at this. There are 14 platforms, okay? That is impressive, but it is also scary because every platform means testing, every platform means support, every platform means bugs, every platform means production decision, every platform means more risk. Even if the technology makes it easier, you still need to explain the plan very clearly. How will this version be developed? Which version come first? Which version are guaranteed? Which version depends on stretch goals? What happens if one platform has issues? Without clear answers, the platform list becomes a big red flag. And honestly, I think this campaign would be much stronger if it focused on 1 or 2 core platforms first. Start small, build trust, deliver the game, then expand. Trying to do everything at once makes the campaign feel, chaotic. Lesson number 6, mix the game, the engine, the tool, and the community mission all together. This campaign is not only about the game, it also talks about releasing development tool publicly, helping other indie developers, supporting the retro community, and building or maintaining engines. Somewhere here, somewhere here. We have also a mention of here another engine. That can be interesting, but it also makes the campaign less clearer. As a backer, I need to understand one thing very quickly. What I am backing. Am I backing a finished adventure game? Am I backing development tools? Am I backing a multi-platform engine? Am I backing a personal mission? You can have secondary goals, but the main promise must be obvious. Here the campaign feels like it is trying to fund everything at the same time, and that weakens the message. Lesson number 7. Launch before your rewards are ready. This is probably the biggest issue. The reward section says that the creator is still finishing the preliminary design for the physical reward and will update the page later. Just here. Do not do this. Never launch a Kickstarter campaign without your reward visuals. If you are selling physical edition, boxes, manuals, art books, figurines, collector's item or special edition, people need to see them. They need mockups, they need examples, they need to understand what they are buying. Here, most of the rewards are described with text, but there are almost like no proper visual. This is a major trust problem because backers will naturally think, if the reward design are not ready, what else is not ready? And that is not the question you want them asking. Lesson number 8, create rewards that are cool, but maybe not realistic. Some ideas here are creative. There is a scratch and smell style physical card connected to the game. Well, it's mentioned here. All physical copies will include a scratch and sniff card with pleasant or not so pleasant odor. That is unusual and fun. There is also a 200-page color art book. So here. There is a 20-centimeter resin statue here, apparently hand-painted. These ideas are interesting, but they also create production risk. A 200-color art book is expensive, especially in small quantities. A resin statue takes time to print, clean, cure, paint, package and ship. If only a few people order these rewards, the unit cost can be very high. If many people order them, the workload can be, huge. So either way, this needs very careful planning. And again, without visuals, backers cannot judge the quality. So what could be a cool reward become another reason to hesitate? Lesson number 9, put your FAQ in the wrong place. This campaign has a long FAQ inside of the main page, here. But the actual Kickstarter FAQ tab is empty. This is not ideal. The main page should be focused on conversion. What is the game? Why is it exciting? What do I get? Why should I trust you? What's the plan? The FAQ tab should handle the technical question, production questions, platform questions, and detailed answers. Here, the page becomes heavier because everything is mixed together. Technical detail, reward detail, personal story, platform explanation, engine information, and FAQ content are all competing for attention. And when everything is important, nothing is clear. Lesson number 10, said the demo is coming later. The campaign mentioned that demos will be released soon on itch.io. Here. But for a campaign like this, that is not enough. If the project is ambitious, technical, and hard to explain, a demo is one of the best ways to build trust. So the demo should be ready on day one. The link should be obvious. The page should say, play the demo now. Take that somewhere. Not the demo is coming soon. Kickstarter launch day is not the time to finish preparing your proof. Your proof should be ready before launch. Lesson number 11. Use updates to explain things that should have been clearer before launch. There are 4 updates, which is good. The creator is communicating, but the updates show the same issue as the page. More technical explanation, more FAQ for this one, FAQ round 2, more long video. The last update includes a video about the creator in-house IDE, but honestly, this kind of content should have been posted months before the Kickstarter campaign. Use your pre-launch period to explain your tools, to show your demo, to build trust. Use pre-launch to gather feedback. Do not wait until the campaign is live to prove that your project exists, because by then the first impression has already happened. And on Kickstarter, the first impression is extremely important. This is almost the end. Lesson number 12. Launch without enough visible audience. This is probably the biggest lesson of all. A Kickstarter page does not magically create traffic. Even a good page needs an audience. And this page is not strong enough to convert cold traffic very well. The goal is 20,000 euros. If the average pledge is about 60 euros, the campaign needs about 300 to 350 backers, something like this. A bit more, a bit less. But not everyone who follows you will back. Maybe 5%, 10% if the audience is very engaged, more, less, like 15, 8. So if you need 300 backers, you probably need thousands of people aware of the project before launch. That means a mailing list, a community, social media followers, YouTube content and followers, press influencers, previous customers, something. You need people waiting for launch day. Here, it feels like the creator is going to war alone. And that almost never works. Let's summarize Kickstarter failure 101. Launch with a confusing title. Make a trailer that is too long and not visual enough. Write too much text. Show too little gameplay. Assume everyone understands your technical language. Promise too many platforms at once. Mix the game, the tools, the engine, and the personal mission together. Launch without reward visuals. Offer complex physical reward without enough proof. Put your FAQ in the wrong place. Say the demo is coming later. Use campaign updates to explain things that should have been clear before launch. And launch without enough pre-launch audience. This is basically the full checklist. Now, I do not want this sound like the creator has no skills or no passion. That is not what I'm saying. Actually, the opposite may be true. There is clearly passion here. There is probably real technical knowledge. There are interesting ideas. The game has personality. The creator is communicating, but Kickstarter is not just about passion. Kickstarter is about clarity, it's about trust, it's about proof, it's about preparation. And it is about making the backer feel safe enough to pledge. This campaign does not do that well enough right now. The biggest lesson is very simple. Do not launch too early. Before launching, make sure your trailer is short and effective. Make sure your page is visual. Make sure your rewards are ready. Make sure your demo is live. Make sure your technical explanations are simple. Make sure your audience already exists. Because once the campaign is live, it is much harder to fix the first impression. And if people arrive, get confused, and leave, they probably will not come back, ever. So for creators watching this, please take this campaign as a warning. You can have a cool project and still fail your Kickstarter if the campaign is not ready. You can have strong technical skill and still fail if normal backers do not understand what you are doing. You can have ambitious ideas and still fail if the page does not create trust. Kickstarter is not only about building the thing, it's about explaining the thing and explaining it clearly enough that people believe you can deliver it. So if you are planning your own Kickstarter project and you need help optimizing your page, your communication strategy, or your pre-launch marketing, feel free to contact me through www.crowdfunding.ninja. I help indie game developers improve and optimize their crowdfunding campaigns. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, do not forget to like and subscribe. I post Kickstarter campaign analysis every week. And if you want me to analyze your own Kickstarter campaign in a future video, feel free to post it in the comment below. See you next week.